What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to unpack the Guiding Light event that's actually coming up. Should be tomorrow at reset, but yeah, this event, guys, this is going to be the first event that's going to be featuring NORTHSTAR here, completely free to play, in addition to actually a ranked leaderboard that's going to give diamonds of him in addition to crimson gear. So obviously, it's an event you want to take advantage of. I've been saying this for the past week, that we should have been hoarding campaign energy for this event specifically, because not only is it going to make it easier for the event overall, but also each and every one of those fragments are going to be meaningful because it gives us another opportunity to get more shards here of NORTHSTAR. So we now have all the information as per the Marvel Strike Force blog post, and we're going to be assessing, guys, how free-to-play friendly is this event. I believe it's ongoing here for the next 7 days, so we're going to be deep diving that. In addition, I do have some math for you guys to review here. So just as a quick recap here, how are you going to be scoring in this specific event? Well, it's made up of a couple of components here. There's going to be a battling and alliance war, so you want to make sure that you're not, skipping that. Even if you're not in an active alliance in terms of just being engaged, getting those attacks in is going to be very, very meaningful. As you'll see, they'll add up a sizable amount of points. There's also going to be a blitzing component with it tied back to Alpha Flight, and the good news is that with this one, you just basically need to blitz once. It's not a blitzing event, it's more so just blitzing with Alpha Flight characters. You're going to be getting bonus points, especially if you already have them at 5 stars and beyond. And then finally, there's also Radiant Flight or fragments as noted from farming the campaign nodes. On top of that, with these events, typically, there's always a web milestone that's also tied back to that, and that is actually called the Wayfinder here. So you can see with the Wayfinder web event, make sure you're checking out the MarvelStrikeForce.com website, logging in and actually checking your milestones, because that's where it's going to be located, not in-game, but actually on the website itself. And thankfully with this one, this is only earning the Alliance credits, and usually with these ones, they're super, super straightforward. So even if we just open up real quick here for the event chart, you can see all of the guiding light orbs and fragments are actually located to the far right there. I've mapped it out. It should be around 16,000 points that's going to get added into the actual event milestone. And as you can see here, it's just the earning of Alliance credits. And this is done, guys, through typically doing your donations from a daily perspective. And as you can see, it's 2,500 points over the span of the 7 days, which is very, very easy to hit. Just make sure you guys are doing your donations there. Now, back to this main one, guys. We got some really good information here. As you can see, when you open up this main event, they like the color code, which makes it even easier to identify what we're going to be getting for, right? So obviously, as per what we've seen with the monthly events, we want to be going for at least the dog tags, right? The dog tags are a great indicator of where it's going to be possible for the free-to-play to actually hit. They always make this accomplishable for the majority of the public. So the dog tags are going to be targeted. But as well, what's nice about this milestone is that there's actually a really decent number of NORTHSTAR shards being available. So you can see there's, almost every other milestone, there's 5 shards of NORTHSTAR. Then as you get a little bit lower here, there's 10 shards there, and then 15. And then finally, the empty root beer bottle. That's what you're going to be wanting to go for, especially this adds back to the monthly event, and it's going to be some pretty notable points. I think it's like 50,000 points for the monthly. And then finally, even beyond that here, the milestone after actually does have the additional 15 NORTHSTAR shards. So that is actually located on milestone 13 and 14 respectively for both the root beer and the NORTHSTAR shards. That's essentially where you want to be going for, guys, because that's ultimately the best value. And typically what you see at the very bottom here, these bottom 4 or 5 milestones usually are more of the dolphin, whale stones that are, spending is going to be involved, right? So typically it's a much higher, and it's usually achievable for the whales and krakens and dolphins. But for us free-to-play folks, it's going to be that milestone 13-14 mark. Now, once again, let's take a look here at the scoring mechanic of how you're going to be getting more points in case you guys don't understand. And this is why I mentioned earlier, make sure you are engaged and playing in war, guys. Even if you go in and actually just cancel out and hit defeat, it should still count, so as long as it's going to be recorded as a progress, right? When you cancel out, though, make sure you're recording the defeat, as in the opponent actually defeats you on screen, not going to your options and hitting cancel, because that's gonna be vetoed and it will not count towards the points. So even if you get slaughtered in the war battles, that's still gonna add points. And as you can see there, that's pretty sizable, guys. 24,000 points is pretty notable. And then, as I mentioned earlier with the blitz battling, you can use the Alpha Flight characters there, Just Sasquatch, Guardian, and NORTHSTAR, they're going to give you an additional 3,000 points because of them just being available in the game. Now, keep in mind as well, Sasquatch is actually not in the game yet, so you won't be able to blitz with him. So it's interesting they released this event, but I believe it's going to tie back to his offer released by the time that this event wraps up, hopefully, because otherwise it doesn't really make sense with this event. Both Guardian and NORTHSTAR are going to be, essentially completed based on where your progression is, right? So to be quite honest, guys, you probably won't get a lot of points from the blitz, with the exception of NORTHSTAR here. So that's probably what I'm going to be achieving anyways. I likely won't have Guardian or Sasquatch at that time when this event goes live, and obviously for the next 7 days. And then finally, I love their, the past milestones, they've been doing a really good job of giving us the transparency of what the conversion to points are. But now, it looks like that, that's not clear actually in this milestone. So you can see here, earn 1 Radiant Flight Orb Fragment from campaigns. There's going to be some free claims and special offers. Special offers being, obviously pay to play. And you can see there, guys, it's only 1 per, which means we're not going to know actually how much the points are going to convert until the event goes live. So if it's pretty notable and different from the analysis I do, guys, I will definitely make a revision video. But this is what I have mapped out so far with some certain assumptions here. So that way you guys can see what it's going to be taking here. So campaign, if we assume it's going to be 4 points per campaign energy node, and that's assuming you do 200 cores per day, guys, to refresh. You have to do that in order to hit this. You're going to be getting close to 31,000 points. Doing all the war battles, which is 24 over the span of the 3 matches, that's going to get you 24,000. We got some blitzing with Alpha here. And then assuming that there's going to be some free claim here, again, usually what we see in the past is 500 points per day for the 7 days. That should amount to close to 3,500 points. And then finally, as I noted earlier, with the web milestone, it's going to give you 16,000. So this actually gets us 75,300 points, which is north of milestone 13 being 63,000 for the empty root beer, plus that 45 shards of NORTHSTAR adds at that point. And then you can see this is a little bit higher than actually milestone 14, which is 73,000 points for the extra NORTHSTAR 15 shards. And keep in mind, this right here, if you guys are doing everything on screen right now, this is going to get you close to 60 shards of NORTHSTAR, which means the rest of it should come from the unlock, guys. So having said that, if you're able to do this event with the 200 cores per day and maximize the 60 shards on the milestone, his unlock is going to be really, really straightforward and easy. Now, this is why in the past, guys, I've recommended that if you do have power cores to open an orb or 2, so that way you get some additional shards of NORTHSTAR. We definitely did that. We're actually sitting in our account right now close to 60 shards, so I'm not worried about the unlock. It's more so for folks that weren't prepared like myself. So how free to play friendly is it, guys? It's free to play friendly for sure, only if you have the power cores. How this math on screen change will be potentially based on if they actually give us more campaign points per. So again, remember in the highlight yellow, I'm only assuming that they're giving 4 points. If they go 5 points or 6, this event's going to be much, much easier in terms of unlocking. And it's also going to mean that you're not having to obviously use power cores. But otherwise, if it is 4 points per, which I hope it isn't, it's going to be a tight event, guys. So to be honest right now, I don't want to say that it's easy or not yet because we don't actually have that clarity. However, if you have the power cores, you're going to have a really good shot at getting this because even if it's 4 points per, as you can see, we're going to be clearing north of milestone 14. So hopefully this helps you guys out. More information in due time. Hopefully my assumptions here are going to be correct because that's usually been the standard. Thank you for your time as always, guys. Let me know anything in comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.